Guten Morgen and welcome. We do not speak German, but we are Crypto for Joe, cryptocurrency and blockchain ideas for your average Joe, your English-speaking average Joe. And we're here today with Cayman Nava. Cayman, how are you?
Doing very well.
So I want to talk about today what's at stake in the battle for the soul of the cryptocurrency, the blockchain space. In other words, the reasons why cryptocurrency should be obvious by now from Satoshi's white paper, on down. People don't trust, the fiat currencies, the however the world's been created. It's great for just a few people. It's fantastic, and the average Joes, you got to go to work pretty dang hard to get anything. And security, transparency, privacy, these things. But then you've got your central banks that come out with their currency. We've got our own currency. And by the way, we own 60% of it, right off the bat, and all this. And banks now advertising that they can hold your keys and all this, which it goes against the spirit of the why this was created to begin with. So tell us what is at stake here?
Right. Yeah. Blockchain is just a tool, right? It can be used any which way you want it to, just like the internet is just a tool. All technology is just a tool. Mm-hmm. And, just going back to the internet as an example, it can be used, to create new forums. And, we saw that in the early internet, and even now,
mm-hmm.
you can really talk with anyone in the world mm-hmm. and discuss anything. And mm-hmm. it's a really uniter in that way, but it can also be used like the dark side of that. Mm-hmm. So think about the spying and censorship that Facebook does, or that social media companies do. Yeah. The kind of the militarization of the internet and of your own personal data.
Right.
Like those same dynamics, kind of the positive side or the liberatory side, and this dark lockdown kind of a side exist mm-hmm. in the blockchain. And that's so what's at stake is I think society's personal freedoms. Mm-hmm. in a very big way, like financial freedoms, mm-hmm. and maybe freedom of communication, association, privacy is a big one. Mm-hmm. So, take for example, you mentioned central bank digital currencies. This is mm-hmm. kind of the future of fiat, is central banks issuing their own digital currencies. Mm-hmm. Well, from the literature that's out there, they don't want a currency that gives you privacy. They don't want a mm-hmm. currency that lets you transact with anyone, because then you might transact with a terrorist. Then you might transact mm-hmm. with someone that they don't like.
Well, someone that they're not getting paid from.
Right.
Moreover,
really, the central bank digital currencies are partially about control, capital control, or mm-hmm. just, in some cases, social control. Mm-hmm. You saw China recently did a test run of their currency in one of their provinces, and they added in the feature that your money expires after a certain amount of time if you don't spend it. So good luck saving, good luck getting ahead. It's, these things can and will be used for social control if we let them.
Yeah. Manna from the good people that rule China. Just trust us on a day-to-day basis. We'll take care of you. Yeah. So I guess, what's at stake is our two very contrasting futures. One that's, you look at our Declaration of Independence, we're born to be free and to have the right to happiness. And there's a lot of people whose happiness is derived on keeping us enslaved or trying to get us enslaved. So that's the really interesting thing to me. And everybody wants to talk about the money and, the trading and thousands of cryptocurrencies, and it's all fascinating. But the big picture is pretty stark and pretty can be dire and can be quite a utopia versus what we're kind of been living in now.
Right. Yeah. I'm still very optimistic because the Ethereum community by and large supports kind of the ideals of, transparency, of privacy, and just like open, permissionless experimentation. And so mm-hmm. as long as this momentum continues, and long as there's like an alternative to a central bank digital currency, mm-hmm. something, permissionless like Ethereum, it becomes very hard to like really exercise full control on this central bank side, because the further you kind of lock down, the more positive and the better of an option the alternative becomes.
Right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Average Joe. Thank you so much for your time today. Check you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.